All right, here we go, man. We are talking to Mr. Christopher. Now, today is a huge day for Mr. Christopher, and today is the day we have been waiting for a while. Of course, Chris has said this numerous times, but today we are going to speak to him today. He has vowed that today is his final concert day. Welcome, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I got to ask you, what makes today different from the last few times that you've said it? Well, Limp Bizkit was one of the bands that I really got into. Like, I really like Limp Bizkit. Like, they were one of the first few bands that I really enjoyed. And I have said time and time again that I really wanted Rush to be my last concert, and sadly that's not going to happen. And when I saw that Limp Bizkit was coming, I was like, you know what? This is it for me. Like, I know Michael, my nephew, was saying something about Tool the other day. I don't know. I mean, I like Tool, but I don't know if I'd really want to go see Tool again. Like, I think this is it for me. I know I'm probably going to, I know I've said this numerous times that this is it for me, but I think this clearly is going to be it. And I think this is it. And I have stated this numerous times. I will still go see, like, the Rush tribute bands, because that's not really a concert. But I think today is a special day. I'm really happy that it's going to be over. Like, I'm really happy. Especially the prices of concert tickets. Like, I don't really want to go to any more concerts, dude. They're all expensive today, and I'm just not too enthused about it, I know there was rumor talking that Rush might do a little bit of a tribute, that Rush might come back with Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee, but that wouldn't be the same in my opinion. So, in my personal preference, today is going to be my last concert. I'm very happy. I've enjoyed every concert that I've gone to, I've got to see a lot of great bands. I've got to see a lot of great concerts over the years. It started with Rush. I mean, it was definitely a huge thing. And guess what? Next month, August 15th, will be my 1 year anniversary since I've seen Rush for the very first time. Yeah, so that's just amazing that's how it's going to be, and I'm very excited about that, and I can't tell you how happy I am that Rush was my very first concert, and I'm very ecstatic that Limp Bizkit, my first band that I ever got into, will be my last. So this is definitely it for me, and I think that, I am relieved that this is it. I know I've said it time and time again, but this is it. This is the day I've been waiting for, and I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to be sad. It had to happen sooner than later, and there's nobody else that I'm really interested in going to see. Will I go see tribute bands? Absolutely. If Roger Waters came back, would I see him? No. I'm not going to see Roger Waters. I'm not going to see Rush without Neil Peart. Maybe, but I don't think that's ever going to happen now. If it would have happened, I think it would have happened by now. So I have been waiting for this day for a while, and I've been wanting to put this story to bed. And I think it's a great way to end it because it's almost been 20 years since I went to my very first concert, which was Rush at Darien Lake. And I'm very happy that this is the way it's going to end. And I can't ask for a better band to end it with than Limp Bizkit. So, I got to see Limp Bizkit. And Limp Bizkit's one of the only bands that I did not see more than once that I liked until today. So, I got to see Killswitch Engage a few times. I got to see Tool a few times. I got to see U2 a few times. I got to see Roger Waters a few times. Rush, no one's going to beat Rush with 9. And then you look at a couple other bands like Loverboy. They were all right. I wasn't really too fond of them. Peter Gabriel, I was happy to see, although I wish he would have played more older stuff. Genesis with Phil Collins, I was happy to see them once. I would have liked to see like Led Zeppelin, but I'm relieved that I'm riding off into the sunset, and I'm happy that this is the way it's going to end. So, would you have liked to end it any other way? No, I don't think so. When I did see the last concert I saw, and Smashing Pumpkins was cool too. I'm sorry, I forgot to add them. Trans-Siberian Orchestra was okay, but the last concert I saw was Tool with Alex Lifeson. I said, you know what? That should be it. That should be the last concert because of the fact that it was kind of with a Rush member. But then when I saw Limp Bizkit, I said, you know what? No. I'm doing one last one, and this is it. I'm riding into the sunset. So I'm sad that it's going to end, but I'm more relieved. So I'm very happy because 20 years ago I started my concert days, and 20 years later I'm going to end it. And I just think that it's pretty much like almost the same time, like August 15th, 2004 and July 24th, 2024. So I think it's a great way for me to end it, 20 years, and I think it's been a great run. So now you have stated that you will still go to shows like tribute bands. Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely do some tribute bands. If Rush has Distant Signals or the Rush Experience or the Analog Kids, I'm definitely down for that. Because it is a concert, but it's not really a concert. It's not like I'm going to a venue to see it. So, and you got to think about the last 7 arenas that I'm going to. I'm already doing 3 of them. And then I have Utah, Nashville. I don't really like Nashville, but then I have Ottawa and I have Calgary. And I don't really hate any of them except for maybe Nashville. I don't really care for Nashville too much. So I'm really relieved that this is going to be it for me, and I'm happy that this will be my last concert days. So, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna be sad. I'm gonna be strong, and I'm very, very, very content with this being my last concert. And I'm very happy that this will be my last concert. And if you look back at the journey, it's been a great journey with concerts. It started with Rush. And then I did Genesis. And then after that, I don't remember where in between, but I saw Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Killswitch Engage, U2, Limp Bizkit. I think I saw Limp Bizkit like 11 years ago. So then I got to see Roger Waters, especially The Wall. That was amazing. And then I got to see Peter Gabriel. So, I know my brother Tim was saying, like, oh, well, if you want to see the whole Genesis band, it's like, nah, I just want to see Peter Gabriel. It's funny because I like Phil Collins with Genesis, but I like Peter Gabriel solo. And one of the songs I was disappointed didn't play was Shock the Monkey, but it is what it is, so. Would there be any other band that you'd like to end with other than Limp Bizkit? I think the only other band I would have liked to end it with was Rush. Yeah, that Tool show back in November in Toronto was a great way to end it. And I know, it's like, yeah, but Chris, you started your concert days in Buffalo. You're going to end it in Toronto? Yeah, I don't really like Darien Lake for concerts, I'm sure everyone that went to Darien Lake for a concert knows why, because it takes forever to get out of there. So, no, I'm very, very happy that Limp Bizkit will be my very last concert, and I'm still on board. I'm still on board to doing tribute bands. Like I said, if the Analog Kids or the Rush Tribute or Rush Experience come, I'm down. But I'm not on board and doing any more concerts. To be honest. So I'm gonna be cool with this, and I'm very content with riding off. I'm very happy with riding off into the sunset, and like I said, 2020, I started my concert days. 2024, I'm gonna end my concert days, and I think it's a good way for me to end it. And sadly, it's not going to be with my friend Joe. It's not going to be with my brother's friend Brian. It's not going to be with my brother Pat. But I think it's it's a good way for me to wrap it up. So even if Tool or Roger Waters came, you wouldn't go see him? No. You know, I love Tool. I love Roger Waters. Don't get me wrong, but no, I'm not gonna go see either one of them. So, no offense, but I'm content with today. I'm gonna soak in the moment. I'm gonna stay till the end, and after the concert is over, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm happy that I ended my concert days tonight. Yes, it happened in Toronto, not Buffalo, but I'm going to be happy that I'm going to wrap it up tonight, and I think it's the way that needed to be, and I'm very happy with it being today, and I'm content with this being the end. You know, I'm very content with today being the last journey. And I don't think I could have picked another band other than maybe like Led Zeppelin that I would have wanted to see. You know, I mean, Alter Bridge is okay. Asia I think would have been cool, but I heard that they're not very good live. You know, Def Leppard. I forgot about Def Leppard. You know, Def Leppard was cool, but I only like to see them once. You know, so. You know, I gotta add Kiss. You know, I gotta thank Kiss. You know, you would lose the news. I think they would have been kind of cool live to see too. You know, I would have probably liked to see Journey with Steve Perry, but sadly that did not happen. The Police, I think I would have liked to see the Police too. Sadly that did not happen. I would have loved to see REM. That would have been a band that I would have loved to see. That would have been a concert I would have liked to see. Trust Company is okay. Van Halen I would have liked to see with David Lee Roth. But, you know, sadly, it didn't happen. I know my brother and I were going to go, and they canceled the show, and it's like, what the heck? So it kind of sucked. But, you know. But like I said, there's nobody else that I'd really be interested in seeing. So, you know, I'm happy with the day. I'm happy with the concerts that I've gone to. So, you know. Now, if Rush and Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee would tour, you'd have to really twist my arm in order for me to want to go to that. And part of the reason why is because it doesn't have Neil Peart. And I know people are like, yeah, but it's not Neil Peart, but I get it. But, yeah, so it is what it is. And I'm very content. I'm very happy. But I think right now I'm looking at this like it's the end. And I'm happy that it's the end. You know, I'm not disappointed that it's over. I'm not going to look back and say, oh man, I wish I could have ended my concert days with this band or that band, because I'm not. I'm going to be happy that today is it. I'm not going to lie. I'm happy that it's going to be over with tonight. You know, I'm actually looking forward to ending tonight. So I do want to end tonight on a high note, and I think today is a great episode for me. A great way for me to end my concert days. You know, 20 years later, it's not the same band, but it's a band that I loved before Rush, and very, very interesting. Well, quickly, man, I gotta ask you, how did you get into liking Limp Bizkit? I don't know. You know, I think part of the reason why I became a big Limp Bizkit fan is because WWE, the wrestler, my favorite wrestler, The Undertaker, had the song Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. And I was like, hey, I like this song. So that made me really like the song. That made me really like the band. And, yeah, and I really liked the band. So I was very happy. And that's just how it is. And that's why I became a fan of Limp Bizkit. So what made you become a fan of the other bands, such as Rush? It's funny that one day my friend Joe came over, and we were playing video games. He was listening to his headphones on a CD player, And I'm like, hey, what are you listening to? He's like, oh, you won't like it. It's a band called Rush. I'm like, hey, mind if I hear it? And I heard a few songs. I'm like, hey, this band's kind of cool. And the first two songs that I liked when I first heard them was Limelight and Tom Sawyer. And I remember YYZ. I was like, wow, this is the first song I remember liking from Rush, YYZ. And it's not really a song. It's not that they sing, but I'm like, oh, cool. Like, this band's kind of cool. So my friend Joe got me into liking Rush. So I got to give him credit, even though we sadly don't talk anymore. I wish we could have, but we'll see what happens. You know, Killswitch Engage, I think the same reason why I got into them was because of WWE. You know, the wrestler had the Killswitch Engage song, and I liked it, and I said, I like this band. So, and then, you know, Pink Floyd. You know, Pink Floyd was a popular band, so I liked them, and, Genesis, Joe liked Genesis, and I was like, yeah, they're pretty good. And U2, U2, I liked U2, so, you know, I agree with the people that talk about U2, you know. I know Bono talks a lot about politics, and I agree with the people, you know, just play your music, and, you know, but it is what it is. All right, I got to ask you this. I know a lot of people have been wondering. I know AC/DC, Paul McCartney, and country music are your three least favorites. Why are those three your least favorite? I think the reason, AC/DC is my least favorite. I'd rather listen to country music before I'd listen to Paul McCartney or AC/DC. Partly the reason I don't like Paul McCartney is probably the same reason I don't like AC/DC. I'd rather listen to Paul McCartney, though, because at least Paul McCartney's... I don't like Paul McCartney's voice, but I could tolerate that over AC/DC. Like, I don't know how anybody could listen to AC/DC, in my opinion. Like, all it is screaming. All it is people that listen to that are just going to go deaf, because that's all that music is. It's just screaming out through the whole song. It's like, at least Killswitch Engage, they scream, but then they take a break and they actually sing. So it's like, cool. AC/DC, all they do is scream out through the whole song. And it's like a chalkboard screeching. It's like, how do people listen? Like, I can't even understand one word that they say in the songs. The only two songs I can tolerate from AC/DC is Back in Black and Thunderstruck. That's it. Like, I don't like any other song. I like the intro to Hell's Bells until they start singing, and I'm like, all right, I hate this song. So I like the intro. So it's funny, for my iPod or my iPhone, I actually created an AC/DC song with just instrumental, and I love it because I don't like the singing. Like, if it wasn't singing for AC/DC, I probably wouldn't hate AC/DC as much. I just hate the singing. That's the thing that I get irritated. Country music, there's no musical instruments, so I need musical instruments in order for me to like it. Like, I need drumming, I need guitar, I need bass. So that's why I don't like it. So, all right. Any special words before you ride off into the final sunset for your final concert here tonight? No, I don't think so. Like I said, I'm very content. I'm very happy, and I'm very, very, very pumped that if there was a way for me to end it, it's gonna be tonight. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy that tonight's gonna be it. You know, I might be looking up when I go home tonight. You know, I might be thinking, man, 20 years and it's all over. But I'm reflecting on the concerts that I've seen. They've all been great, and I've gone to certain cities to see them. You know, Detroit, Bristol, Syracuse, Toronto, Buffalo. So, you know, it's very, very cool. And, you know, I know there are certain bands that I was thinking about Aerosmith, and I'm like, I like Aerosmith, but I don't know if I'd want to see them. So, but I'm very happy that tonight's my last concert, and I can ride off into the sunset 20 years later and say thank you. So, all right, have fun tonight, man. Enjoy your last concert, and we'll see you, well, I don't know when. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.